expected to begin its phase 3 reopening on Monday, but Mayor Bill de Blasio says that will not include indoor dining anymore, as was originally scheduled. And as we head into a new month, it also means a new round of rent payments for real estate giants like my next guest, who owns more than 10 million square feet in Manhattan and parts of the tri-state area, including the world-famous Empire State Building. For more on the path forward for real estate, I'm joined by Anthony Malkin. He's chairman and CEO of Empire State Realty Trust. It's great to have you back, and I guess we'll just start with, are they paying the bills for July?
So we'll disclose our actual final update for the next quarter earnings at the same time. What I can say is from the last time we spoke, rents have continued to come in and our rent collections have continued to improve. July rents aren't actually due until literally the 1st. However, I can just tell you steady improvement over our collection prior to this point.
What do you think of the mayor's decision not to open indoor dining? How does that affect you? And what's going on with the observation deck, which is such a big part of the Empire State Building's revenue?
So let's hit the observation deck first. It is closed, but I'll tie that into the second point, which is indoor environmental quality. This has been a major focus of us throughout our renovation of all of our buildings in the past decade. The fact that indoor environmental health is absolutely critical. So we have put in such things in all of our new spaces, including the observatory, as MERV 13 filters, AtmosAir, which kills off viruses, including coronaviruses. MERV 13 filters capture viruses. And the third most important thing, ventilation. So in our offices at 111 West 33rd Street, we replace the air in our office completely once every hour. That's what happens at the observatory, and the difficulty with a lot of this indoor dining is that's not the way that those air conditioning systems and cooling systems are designed.
Yeah.
Similar to most buildings, which have these very large tied-in central systems, they just recirculate the air.
So it's interesting because Governor Cuomo brought up the same issue and said he wanted, restaurants to have these kinds of filters that can kind of capture, in your case, as you said, kill coronavirus. Can you tell us about the cost, though? I mean, you're a property manager. This is obviously an investment that you need to make. But if you're a restaurant, is this financially feasible?
Well, it's interesting, our restaurants at the Empire State Building have this already, the MERV 13 filters and the AtmosAir. That's part of our basic design build in everything that we do in our buildings. And as I said, we were focused on this before when it was an issue of indoor environmental quality, asthma, volatile off-gassing materials. To retrofit for MERV 13 filters and to install AtmosAir, it's not a big burden. To incorporate ventilation is harder, and that needs to be part of a design change. So I think you have the one hand to clear out what's recirculating in the air, and then the other hand is to bring in fresh air. That is more of a challenge unless you plan ahead.
Yeah, and I imagine that's what, all these restaurant owners are struggling with, trying to figure out, and whether that investment is going to be worth it for them or just to close up. Since we last had you on, we spoke with Jonathan Litt, who is reportedly shorting companies, including yours, and thinks ESRT might bear the full brunt of this storm because of the observation deck being 25% of net operating income, your smaller tenants, older buildings, more apparel-oriented. I'm sure it's not the first time you've had to address these concerns, but what would you say to investors like Litt, who are worried about your future?
Well, look, everybody's entitled to take a position in the market. That's the benefit of markets. I think that anyone can report on what is happening today. I think you have to look at the longer term. First of all, our buildings are older, but they've all been modernized for the 21st century. We spent over $1 billion in our entire portfolio to do that in New York City, and that's why we have this MERV 13 filters, AtmosAir, and ventilation in our new installations, in our observatory, in our building.